reducing cost using AI, that's going to have a profound impact in our societies. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I think the healthcare use cases, I'm extremely excited about. Hyper-personalized healthcare. I already used ChatGPT Copilot to answer questions about my own personal health. It is very, very exciting. And also, some of the research that you showed off, the immersion cooling, right? That was
discovered. Yeah, it's so cool.
Material science. There's just so much there. So anecdotally, I've heard from some of the younger generation that they're either avoiding AI altogether or maybe just using it lightly, and specifically because the energy usage they're thinking is going to pretty significantly negatively affect our planet. And so how does Microsoft think about that? What words of confidence would you give to them?
Yeah, first of all, the fact that the younger generation cares about this deeply is so inspiring, quite frankly, because at some level, it is sort of the right push for all of us to be able to say, okay, whatever we are creating is fundamentally helping with these outcomes that matter to us in society, right? Whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in education, whether it's access to financial services, whatever the domain is. Ultimately, it's economic growth, it's economic prosperity and abundance. So let's take that as the first thing, which is we're not doing this just for some tech accomplishment, but we're doing it to solve the challenges of people and planet. Then the second part is also important, which is we've got to do it in a sustainable way, right? It's sustainable abundance. And then if that is the case, then one of the equations I go back to is it's tokens per dollar per watt, right? The fact that we are able to use software, right, as the most malleable resource to use energy in the most efficient way to generate the most amount of abundance, which in turn then improves health and education and other outcomes, is a good thing. And we just have to stay on it, right? The reality is all of tech is what, 2%, 3% of sort of the grid power today or total power consumption. So it's minor, but yes, it'll double. And so if it needs to double, it needs to have the social permission to double. It needs to create a lot more value in the real world. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I feel like we as a tech industry need to be anchored on not just one product of ours that everybody's using for doing fun things. It has to be in healthcare, in material science, in broad knowledge work in a small business getting productivity, right? Because that's what will give us the social permission to continue to use the scarce resource called energy, do that in a sustainable way. We are some of the biggest buyers of alternative energy. In fact, you could say the greatest subsidy out there for new projects is from people like us. We really want to make sure we continue to push on it, but ultimately deliver tokens per dollar per watt, such that it creates economic prosperity.
I'm glad you said that. I'm going to tell the folks who are very nervous about the environmental impact what you said, and I'll show them this video. So thank you. There's